Hi, welcome to Copy Class. This is Alyson Lex of askacopyexpert.com and AlysonLex.com. Today we are going to be talking about stumbling blocks for your readers, the natural stopping points that happen throughout your copy that may be supercharged by some design or word decisions that you've made. And we're going to talk about what they are so that you can avoid them and keep your prospects reading through your copy so that they get all the way through to the pitch, the offer, the call to action, and the sale, because that's what we're here for, right? Okay, so the first stumbling block that your readers would likely come across is a word choice. You've probably heard that we want to really target our writing to a 5th to 7th grade reading level. And I don't know if you remember 5th through 7th grade, but I remember enough of it to know that I don't want to repeat it again, but I don't remember how well I was reading then. And luckily there's actually, there's a website that can help you with that. It's called Hemingway App, hemingwayapp.com, and it's totally free. I actually keep looking at it on my screen right here. And you simply paste in your writing, or you can even do your writing right in there, and it'll tell you how readable it is, whether what grade level it is. So it'll give you kind of a score, green, yellow, red, all that, and then it'll actually show you kind of the stumbling blocks that you've gotten in your word choices, whether you're using adverbs, which apparently are not a good thing to use. How many sentences are hard to read? They'll actually highlight it for you so you can go ahead, really look at it critically and make your writing easier to read, because confusing writing is going to get your readers to just stop. They're just not going to pay attention, and that's not going to make it, they're not going to buy. So we want it to be clear, concise, easy to read, and that way they can get through it without those stumbling blocks. So if you're not going to use the Hemingway app editor, that's fine, but really just make sure that you're looking at your copy as if you were, as Julie likes to say, Homer Simpson, right? So your clients, they're not always going to have a good day, and you want to make it really easy for them to understand. So avoid the big words. Hemingway app will help you do that. And the second thing that might happen is a design choice. There are a couple design choices, so we'll break it down for you, but really I dislike lines, I dislike full width pictures, boxes of text, things like that. I know that design is a big deal, and we want all of our online sales copy and our offline sales copy to look really professional and look really slick, but you want to avoid anything that's going to create a barrier between one set of copy and another set of copy. The only exception that I will make to that is in a longer form page. If you have a full width background color for a headline, as long as that headline's really strong, because that headline's got to do the work of getting the eye to jump to a different section of the page. And so that's a natural stopping point, right? You get to the end of one section if you see a big picture. In the news articles, there's those full screen advertisements on my phone. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna keep reading. So you want to avoid anything that feels like that on your sales pages, and definitely take a look at how your images are showing up on mobile and tablet. As you know, mobile and tablet traffic is through the roof, and so it's not just laptops or PCs. You want to make sure that the images you're picking are not going to just completely stop the scroll on the phone. I mean, if I'm scrolling on the phone, I don't want to stop in my tracks. Okay. Another thing is text that's difficult to read. Okay, don't pick a fancy text just to be fun. I understand it, I totally do, but readability is going to be paramount to everything else that you do online. And offline. I mean, all of these strategies work online or offline, but I know that so many of us are marketing online that's just, but just because Google has like 800 million fonts now does not mean that you should be using the scriptiest font you can find for your headlines. End of discussion. You want to go with a nice sans serif that's like an Arial, a Tahoma, Open Sans, any font that doesn't have those little flaggies is really good for online. And by flaggies, I mean like, you know, the little tags on the edges of the letters. Times New Roman, I think Garamond, Cambria, I think those are all serif fonts. I know Times New Roman is. Those little things are called serifs. And so you want a sans serif font for online, a serif font for offline. It's where the readability is easier. Sans serif shows up better on a screen. Okay, because if your fonts are too hard to read, reverse print, so a light text on a dark background is really cool for a big headline, but don't make your whole page in that because it'll make your eye tired and it's hard to read. All right, one more stopping point, and this is kind of a marriage of copy choice and design choice, and that is the wallow text. Okay, so we've all seen it. We've all seen a paragraph of single-spaced text that takes up this much room on the computer screen, and we check out. We get 3 lines in, we can't do it anymore, our eye gets lost, and we're done. We're out. We don't care that much, right? So we want to make sure that the wall of text is broken up. Keep your paragraphs to no more than 2 or 3 sentences long. 4 sentences if the sentences are short, right? So really check out that wall of text. And another thing that I think actually Julie taught me was if you take the paper or the page and turn it sideways, right, like this, sideways. These are just my notes for today. You don't want it to look like this where they're all at the same line. You actually want it to look like this where it's different lengths, like mountain peaks. All right, so we don't want the prairie, we want the mountain peaks on that that right-hand side there. So if you have to turn your head to look at your screen, you want to make sure that you're varying the lengths of your paragraphs, varying the lengths of your sentences. It's just going to keep things a little bit more interesting. If you don't vary, I mean, if every sentence has the same exact structure and everything sounds alike, then you're just going to get boring and monotone. And that's a stumbling block. We don't want your readers to get bored. We don't want them to get confused, and we don't want them to make it feel like it's work to read your sales copy. Okay, so those are the 3 stumbling blocks that people tend to come up on. And this has been Copy Class. Thanks for joining me. I'm Alyson Lex of AskACopyExpert.com and AlysonLex.com, and we'll see you on the next one.